Hi guys, welcome to the first part of this week's Coffee and Hero show. Taking you through all of the new graphic novels, collected editions, and everything in between coming into the store this week. As I spoke about on some previous episodes, we're going to be investing quite heavily in the graphic novel section over the coming weeks. We're going to specifically look at Image Comics as our first port of call. Although this week actually has quite a bit of DC, admittedly, it's just the way it fell. But we're going to be expanding them out and offering as much choice as possible in terms of graphics, hardcovers, collected editions, in terms of compendiums or omnibuses. We're basically going to try and make sure we have a little bit of something for everyone. And I think Image is one of the best publishers for that because they just deal with so many genres. So even if you're not into superheroes, like Image might get you into comics. You know, we've had plenty of people like that who, to be honest, don't really go near superhero stuff, which is absolutely grand. But as I said, I'm going to take you through what's in this week, and it's a collection of some top-ups of stuff for the back catalogue. There's quite a lot of new releases this week as well. There's quite a lot of recent releases that we sold out of, so we got straight back in, that kind of thing. So kick things off with a bit of manga, and DC are continuing to put out their Batman Justice Buster. It's as far as volume 3 now. They've dipped their toes in the manga DC. They've done Joker Operation 1, Justice Buster, and there's Superman Meshi, I think, is the other one. Next up, I'm going to talk about a new line that's coming from DC Comics that I genuinely think could be quite revolutionary and attract a whole new audience to comics. What they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing these smaller editions of classic comics. When I say classic, I mean absolute stone cold classics. You know, the first two releases are Batman the Court of Owls saga and Watchmen. Now, the reason I think these could be revolutionary is A, they're compact in size, they're easier to carry. They maybe look more like a book than a graphic novel. So I think to the casual audience, this could be a great entry point. The other reason I say it is because they're coming in at a £9 price point. Now, these are not just like the first 6 issues of Watchmen and then you got to get a volume 2. That's all 12 issues of Watchmen in there for £9. One of the greatest graphic novels of all time, bar none. One of the greatest books of all time, bar none, for £9. The paper quality is really good on them. The art really does pop. My worry was that the dialogue was going to be too small to read. I don't think that's the case personally. The other one that's out this week is Batman the Court of Owls saga. And again, Court of Owls and graphic novel is across 2 graphic novels. You've got the Court of Owls and City of Owls, which comprises 11 issues. This book has all 11 issues. So there's no 2 volumes needed again. So I only ordered in a certain amount of these week because I wasn't sure what the quality was going to be like and how accessible they were going to be. But I've already placed orders for top-ups for next week straight away because these are class. These are going to be the staple, I think, of any good comic store. And, you know, if someone comes in who's never read a comic before or wants a starting point, you know, not necessarily Watchmen because I always say it's a bad starting point, but that's a perfect starting point as an example. But there's ones coming over the next few months. You're going to have All-Star Superman. You're going to have Wonder Woman Earth 1. You're going to have... there's a Green Lantern one coming. There's, you know, I really do think these could be quite revolutionary. They remind me a little bit of, I spoke to someone about this, if you remember, just to really show my age, if you remember in the early days of PlayStation, they used to do PlayStation Platinum. When a certain story or when a certain title sold a certain amount, they then made a platinum and reduced the price. That's what this is to me. So it's not sustainable for all graphic novels, of course, but I do think for classic graphic novels that have, you know, already made their creators and publishers a lot of money, that's the perfect way to go to entice new readers. So off from that, we have back in stock is Predator vs. Wolverine. So this was the Benjamin Percy pens fight 'em up between the two. Mostly art by Ken Lashley. There was some Greg Land art in there as well. Kei Zama, Hayden Sherman. Really, really fun this. Yeah, 4-issue miniseries with the definitive end and just good fun. Next up is Shazam Meet the Captain. So this is from the team of Dan Mora and Mark Waid. What more could you ask for? This is volume 1, so this comprises the first 6 issues. Next up is Spider-Man Reign, which I understand is one of the more controversial Spider-Man stories. One of the darker, more post-apocalyptic Spider-Man tales. There is going to be a sequel in single issue form starting in July, I want to say. So it's in, of course, they've reprinted this so that people can get caught up before Spider-Man Reign 2. Next up, self-contained miniseries, Hawkgirl Once Upon a Galaxy. This contains the entire run of this, I believe it was 6 issues in total. Coming to you from Jedzia Axelrod and Amanke Nahulapan. Next up, Black Panther. This comprises the second part of Black Panther since Eve El Yoon took over. So this comprises issues 6 to 10. A secret from Wakanda's past threatens to destroy its future. Next up, we got back in stock Danger Street Volume 1. So this is the Tom King Jorge Fornes book. Again, focusing on maybe some of the lesser lights of the DC universe. Volume 2 came out there 2 weeks ago, but I realized as Volume 2 came out, a lot of people were wanting to give it a go, so they picked up all the Volume 1s. Back in stock this week. Another one that I just can't keep in stock, so you'll see it in a video here every couple of weeks at least, is The Crow, one of the absolute greats as well. James O'Barr, of course. We got the special editions back in with tons of back matter and new behind the scenes material, and absolutely complete. And yeah, again, just one of the greats. Also back in stock is The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. This is for all you Gerard Way / My Chemical Romance fans out there, and why wouldn't you be? This is the first volume of Fabulous Killjoys. When it first came out, it was just called The True Lives of Fabulous Killjoys, but it now has the subtitle of California, because there is a sequel series as well, which we do have on the racks downstairs as well. It's called National Anthem. Some top-ups for the Sandman section. So again, these sort of omnibus almost style. Well, they're solicited more books, shall we say, because they're thicker than graphics. But Sandman comprises 6 volumes in total in this format. So back in stock this week we have Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. Volume 6 is on the racks, and I have Volume 1 coming from a different source. Next up is a new James Bond hardcover, which is from Dynamite Comics. This was written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Marco Finnegan. Just really, really good stuff. The James Bond line's been on fire recently. There was 2 volumes done by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Garth Ennis is currently writing at the moment, and it's just really, really good. So Myrmidon is the subtitle for that. Next up, we have a brand new special hardcover edition, 20th anniversary deluxe edition, if you will, for Identity Crisis. Years ago, a line was crossed. The heroes responsible swore one another to secrecy. Now one of their own is dead. So one of those classic DC events. Next up, we have World's Finest Teen Titans. This was a recent release. Mark Waid writing, Emanuele Lupacchino on art. You had Chris Samney doing covers. Before they were Titans, they were Teen Titans, and you don't want to miss this fresh take on their origins from World's Finest Teen Titans. Next up was one I really couldn't believe I didn't have on the shelf, so I definitely had to reorder this back in. This was awesome. This is Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, written by Bruce Campbell. Yes, that one. With art by Eduardo Risso. This is tremendous fun, beautifully drawn. Had great covers as well from Gary Frank, which you can see spotlighted on the front and back. But just really, really fun, and like Bruce Campbell knows how to pace a story. Really, really good stuff. Speaking of top-ups for the back catalogue section, we have Nightwing. So we have hardcovers back in stock there. So The Leap, Fear State, Dick Grayson, and Leaping into the Light. Next up is the Top 10 Compendium from DC Comics. So this is from Alan Moore and Gene Ha. Welcome to Neopolis. Created to solve the problems of living with superpowered individuals, the good, the bad, the robots, and the gods. Neopolis is a city of wonders and of terrors, a city full of fine citizens who can read your mind, tell your future, and commit crimes unheard of in the rest of the multiverse. In our Neopolis, the officers of Precinct 10 stand against the chaos and sometimes cause it. So maybe slightly lesser known Alan Moore goodness there. Next up, we have the latest in the Boom Studios Slipcase series. So this is now for a series called Grimm, which is all to do with the Grim Reaper and indeed the daughter of the Grim Reaper. This is great. I'm really enjoying this. This is Stephanie Phillips writing this title. Really, really good stuff. I'm really, really enjoying these slipcase editions. So they've done it for Something's Killing the Children. They've done it for Once and Future. Flaviano is the artist on this, I should say, as well. But yeah, really just nice and deluxe, and always really well produced, those hardcovers. Back in stock, Invincible number 2 of the new smaller trade paperback size. We have Volume 3 on the shelves. Volume 4 is due out in a couple of weeks, and I have Volume 1's on the way as well. So again, if you're looking to get into Invincible, we should have you covered. Also back in stock, I'm glad to say, is the Enfield Gang Massacre. We sold out of this so quickly, and of course, why wouldn't we? Because it's awesome. Chris Condon, Jacob Phillips, the early days of that Texas blood, so to speak, but going right back to those days where it was just cowboys and Indians. Great stuff. Great outlaw tale. Next up is Dungeons & Dragons Fortune Finder. So this is from Jim Zub and Jose Yarrow. Jim Zub, of course, we talked to on the podcast a few months back. Highly recommend searching that out if you haven't listened to it. We also put it on YouTube, actually, as well. And just it was a really, really fun interview. But get lost in the Planescape setting in this chaotic plane hopping adventure that brings the multiverse to life. Next up, Dead Lucky, part of the Massiveverse, of course, along with Radiant Black and Rogue Sun and so on and so forth. This is the second and final volume, I believe, of this. It was 12 issues in total, from Melissa Flores and artist French Carlo Magno. Melissa Flores is another old podcast interview we did a little while back, so you can certainly check that out. But really, really good stuff. A little bit of Marvel for you now. We have Alpha Flight, Divided We Stand. This was from Ed Brisson and Scott Godlewski. 5-issue miniseries, The Return of Canada's premier super team. Also from Marvel, we have Fantastic Four, The Impossible is Probable. This is continuing on the Rand North run on the character. You've got Ivan Coelho there on art. And this comprises Fantastic Four issues 12 to 17. A big one this week definitely is Duke. So we have the Energon universe, the G.I. Joe, the Transformers stuff, World Rivals, all that good stuff. And they're starting to hit trades now. I've spoke about it before where they're essentially doing like 5-issue miniseries on the Joe side and 5-issue miniseries on the Cobra side. Once those 5-issue series end, a new 5-issue series starts for both. So they're not flooding the market with too many titles. They're not, forcing you to dip into your pocket left, right, and center. But Duke has now, all 5 issues have been released, so it's in trade paperback form. Cobra Commander thinks out in a couple of weeks. But you've got your standard cover there, which is available in all good bookstores. But then you do have your direct market exclusive cover as well, so only available in comic book stores. Next up, we have Titans Volume 1, Titans Out of the Shadows from Tom Taylor and Nicholas Scott. Brand new take on the Titans. Really enjoyed it. Don't really know much more to say. Just great superheroing. Obviously, the Titans stepped into the DC Universe in the absence of the Justice League as well, so quite high stakes. Next up, a little bit more Dungeons and Dragons. This is D&D's Saturday Morning Adventures. This comes from David M. Boer, another person we've interviewed in the podcast and had the pleasure of hosting in store for a signing. And artist George Cambadea, who does Gargoyles. So complete mini-series there. Moving on to the image type side of things. So a series I really wanted to make sure we had on the shelves is Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog. This is a spin-off from Philadelphia. I always pitch it to people as Philadelphia is to do with vampires and Nightmare Blog's to do with demons. This was a 12-issue series in total, also written by Rodney Barnes, also drawn by Jason Sean Alexander. Every bit as essential as the main narrative of Philadelphia. Another one you're probably bored seeing on this channel, but I have to get it back in stock all the time, so we sell it all the time. It's Something That's Killing the Children. Probably the biggest indie book, I would say, since Saga. It just keeps going back to print, back to print, back to print. I think part of that is, and I think I've spoke about it before, the price point is fantastic. So it's always £11 per volume, not £11 for the first one and then volume 2 is 16 and volume 3 is 16, blah, blah, blah. All volumes are that same price from Boom Studios, and just the hit that keeps on growing. Next up, another Image Comics series. This is called Click Click Boom from Doug Wagner. Meet Sprout, a mute assassin who communicates exclusively through Polaroid pictures. So sounds exactly like an 80s movie. Back in stock also is Justice League The New 52 from Jeff Johns and Jim Lee. This was a pretty defining run for Justice League, helping launch The New 52. Jim Lee on an ongoing, Jeff Johns writing. This was big at the time. I remember collecting all the singles of Justice League. Really enjoyed it. Big blockbustery. Lots of great splash art. Good character dynamics and some great runs in there. The Throne of Atlantis was really, really good. The Dark Side War was really, really good, just as a couple of examples. So this is the New 52, book 1. Next up we have Green Lantern back in action. So Jeremy Adams and Zermanico on this one. This has been a really good relaunch for Green Lantern, bringing Hal Jordan back into the fold. Once again, you have your traditional cover available in all good bookstores, and then you also have from Zermanico your direct market exclusive cover, which again is only available in comic stores. These are really good volumes as well, because not only do they have the first 6 issues of Green Lantern, they also have Night Terror's Green Lantern issues 1 and 2. So just a couple to finish off with, a couple of epic collections where you have Daredevil, Fall from Grace. This is volume 18, which covers 1993 to 1994. So the Han Ninja clan unleashes a supervirus on New York, and only Daredevil can stop them, but not without some unexpected help from a long-lost love and a new armored costume. The epic saga that reintroduced Elektra to the Marvel Universe. Iron Man is next up. This is part of the Marvel Modern Era Epic Collections. So slightly more modern stories put into this format. from Matt Fraction, Salvador Larroca, World's Most Wanted. This covers 2008 to 2009. The Armored Avenger faces his worst nightmare. So this would have been coming out around the time of the Iron Man movie. And then last one to finish off with, we have some Star Trek. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Scorpius Run. So this was a 5-issue miniseries, I want to say. Written by Ram Parrott, who of course is, you know, a big Power Rangers writer. Does Rogue Sun now as part of the Massiverse. And you've got also Mike Johnson and Angel Hernandez working on this also. So yeah, quite a lot in this week. Apologies for keeping you so long going through it all. But yeah, just a big week. And as I say, we're going to be doing big orders over the next few weeks. So do keep an eye on the channel. And keep an eye on the social media posts. We'll always be posting pictures and, you know, all the rest of new releases in. Again, the store's going to be moved around a wee bit in the coming weeks as well. So bear with us while we do that. So yeah, exciting times ahead. Always loads of choice, as much as possible for you guys. And always something new in the store anytime you pop us a visit. So until then, as ever, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's proved useful. Do all the usual YouTube, subscribe, share nonsense that comes with all these videos. And I'll hopefully see you in store soon, guys. So until then, take it easy.